Hello friends! We continue to monitor the events on the Ukrainian-Russian front as well as the news. As of today, the entire front line is echoing with increased shelling from the Russian side, and the Ukrainian armed forces are destroying Russian positions to break through the defense. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, like the video and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest news. Let's start with the Zaporizhzhia direction, where the hottest events are unfolding. Russia has already announced that it seems there was a most powerful attack by the Ukrainian armed forces last night. Russian telegram channels are panicking and claiming that this is the largest scale attack by the Ukrainian armed forces since the beginning of the year. It is likely that Ukraine prepared reserves and used them on multiple fronts, employing a tactic of flanking the enemy with two waves of attacks, while the third wave breaks through the defense. But they don't know that Ukraine hasn't even started anything yet. There is no doubt that the Ukrainian armed forces will be able to break through. It's a matter of time, and even today there are tactical successes because many new videos emerge showing how the Ukrainian armed forces capture Russians who were defending the Zaporizhzhia direction. Late in the day, new information appeared that the Ukrainian armed forces continue to conduct massive artillery shelling of Russian positions in Orikhovo-Rabotino. At the same time, the Ukrainian infantry isn't currently carrying out any active operations, likely due to the reinforcement of reserves for further advancements. In general, the Russians are surprised that the Ukrainian armed forces have actively started to destroy them. Closer to the evening, the information about the advancements of the Ukrainian armed forces by 2.5 kilometers and the liberation of the settlement Lapkova was confirmed. Success is evident, and the Ukrainian armed forces continue to advance. In the Orikhovo area, Russia also heavily shells Ukrainian military equipment and tries to repel the counterattack. However, Russian experts understand that with each passing day their defense is crumbling, and the Ukrainian armed forces will achieve their goal in any case. The situation remains stable in the Vuhledar direction. The Russians have increased the number of shelling in an attempt to halt the Ukrainian advance and actively use aviation. In the Avdiivka direction, the number of attacks has decreased. Russia is trying to advance towards Severne and also shells Avdiivka at the front-line settlements to the south. The fighting for Marinka continues. The number of shelling has increased, but there have been no changes in the front line over the past day, and the situation is under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces. In the Bakhmut direction, the Ukrainian armed forces report that they have managed to advance another 2 kilometers in the past day. However, the main settlement of Klishivka and Borshivka remain under Russian control, and the occupiers continue to attack towards Bogdanivka while shelling the entire front-line territory. There have been no changes along the front line in the past day. Serhiy Cherevati commented on the situation in Bakhmut.
Користуючись тим, що ворог проводив ротаційні заходи, змінюємо свої підрозділи, намагаємося наносити по ворогу удари, контратакуємо. За цю добу вдалося на різних ділянках просунутися до 1400 метрів. І також ворог, звичайно ж, веде активну оборону, намагається бити по нашим підрозділам 330 разів ствольної реактивної артилерії, по нашим підрозділам 8 авіаударів наніс. Загалом відбулося 6 боєзіткнень.
The situation remains stable in the Lugansk direction. In the area of Dvorichne, the occupiers have reduced the number of shelling, but strikes have been recorded in the area of Masyutivka. There is a possibility that the Ukrainian armed forces are starting to regain their positions. In the Svatove direction, the number of shelling has slightly increased, but the situation remains unchanged and there are no offensive actions taking place. In the Crimea area, there are no new attacks reported, but shelling continues. However, the situation is more tense in the Siversky direction. The Russians are advancing towards Bilogorivka and the settlement of Vesele, increasing the number of shelling not only on the frontline settlements but also conducting strikes up to 10 kilometers from the front line. However, there have been no changes on the front line so far. In the Kherson direction, the situation remains critical and the water level isn't decreasing rapidly. However, the Kakhovka reservoir is gradually resembling a desert, as seen in this video filmed by a local resident. There is almost no water left in the reservoir, only scattered puddles remain. The Russians are launching shelling attacks on Kherson and other nearby towns. Experts believe that this is done with the intention of withdrawing their units from the defense of the Kherson direction and reinforcing their defense in the Zaporizhia and other directions in anticipation of the expected counter-offensive by the Ukrainian armed forces. There are also reports of explosions at the Zalesnyansk port and on the Arabatska Strilka, which likely resulted in the destruction of Russian bases. In Ukraine, humor seems to be thriving as reported by informational and news outlets. The resort season in Arabat is so scorching hot that yesterday morning a few rockets decided to join the Russians and their occupied recreation pace. For unclear reasons, the Russians didn't appreciate this, and now columns of vehicles with Russians and local collaborators are urgently departing for the currently occupied Crimea. In Simferopol, it is reported that air defense systems are operational, but there are no further details at the moment. Meanwhile, in Odessa it is very hot and the city was targeted by drone attacks, resulting in the death of 3 people and 26 injuries. 3 missiles and 8 drones were launched. It is also reported that the Russians are exporting valuable equipment from the Crimea Titan plant, along with all materials related to the production of titanium dioxide, leaving only ammonium phosphate behind. This poses a certain threat as ammonium phosphate can explode under certain conditions. It appears that Russians are using the plant as a chemical bomb since it is located near the entrance to the Crimean Peninsula. They are likely planning to detonate the plant during the Ukrainians' future counteroffensive, similar to how they demolished the Kakhovka hydroelectric power station. During a press conference, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky elaborated on the questions regarding the upcoming counteroffensive.
Вітаю, пане президенте. Питання буде до вас і питання стосується контрнаступу. Зокрема, світові ЗМІ, такі як Політико, Вашингтон Пост, Вільт, пишуть про початок українського контрнаступу у вежі. Є вже багато відео боїв за участі танків Абрамс та БМП Бредлі. Також вчора Путін сказав, що Україна почала свій контрнаступ. Путін. Так. Так чи справді Україна розпочала свій контрнаступ і що зараз відбувається на фронті, зокрема на Запорізькому напрямку?
Цікаво, що Путін сказав про наш контрнаступ. Можливо, що Росія відчуває це завжди, що їм недовго залишилося. На мою думку, контрнаступальні оборонні дії відповідні відбуваються в Україні, на якій стадії я не буду говорити детально, і вважаю, що ми обов'язково все це будемо відчувати. Я б не довіряв би тим чи іншим телеграм-каналам, і особливо Путіну. Здається, що було багато кроків, після яких довіряти всій інформації не можна. Мені здається, довіряти треба нашим військовим. І я їм довіряю. Я щоденно на зв'язку з нашими командувачами різних напрямків. Сирський, Тарнавський, Москальов, Знаєв, Залуд. Всі зараз настроєні позитив. Так, Путіну і передати.
That's all. Thank you for your attention. Until our next meet. Bye-bye.